Hi, this is Infected, another Zerg player trying to prove to the world that Zerg is imbalanced. uh, honestly, food war fan of just trying to come up with jank volley, little strategies, and just trying to find a way to make StarCraft 2 fun again. And at the same time, still not have my pride be beaten to senseless pulp. So today, basically, we'll be looking at a Zerg versus Protoss. What I focus this game is essentially drop play. Bane drops, and for extra fun and kind of extra maneuverability, I also decided to do some Nydus network play. I've seen a couple pros do like a 2-base Roach Nydus timing against Terran players. Tried it myself, it's okay. I've tried it in ZvZ. It's actually a lot of fun, especially when your opponent goes Roach Hydra. That way, I can just run my roaches back into the Nydus network, or have one popped up for escape, and then just have a much bigger army and still do massive damage to the economy. So basically, just gonna start up the game. Have myself versus Flash, it's a Protoss player. And versus Protoss, I like to go a 14 pull into a 16 hatch or 15 hatch if I can. If I do see a probe actually leave the line and go towards my base, then I will just automatically start the Overlord. That way, I have enough supply for a queen and a couple wings out, so that way I can get rid of the bothersome probe. It's a very safe build. It's not completely greedy, but honestly, I've gotten cannon rushed, 2-gated so many times. I despise Protoss with a passion. Well, not as much as I hate Widow Mines, but enough to know that I don't like it. So yep, here's my vision. I still see the probe running by my Overlord. I am trying to send him down, but I had already had my third Overlord started. So, as soon as this pops, my queen started, 2 wings, my 4 wings in the way, like, strong, looking down, for, pylon. And he canceled it, so I just started my hatchery. Have my wings kind of look around for the probe. I didn't hear, coming up, I didn't see him actually go for an expansion or forge fast expand. So I was like, okay, awesome, I don't have to go for a 3-base really fast. I am keeping my links here just so the probe doesn't come back and tries cannon rushing while it's still building. And I do the normal thing, go for 3rd base because it's all expansion game drop down. Then I have my Overlord going in, starting to see, it's okay, he's getting gateway ready, so there might be a little attack coming. A little cheeky Protoss timing attack. I have 2 more queens on the way, one to go over here, and then one to kind of just lay down creep tumors. Typically, if I am trying to rush drop play, wings and banelings or roaches, I try making it into a 2-base timing, but this game, because of some going for the delayed expansion, I didn't want to be that far behind. I should have noticed with my wings when you drop the pylon here. So, yep, right here I am dropping down more spine crawlers, even though I am still trying to take my gas. At this point, I should be more concerned about kind of saving my minerals, because at this stage in the game, the only tech I have is lanes and queens, and typically that's usually a good thing. But so here it looks like he is just trying to go for what, 4-gate pressure. Typically, what I used to do is just make lots and lots of wings and kind of just maybe hope he doesn't take out a queen if I'm lucky. But spine crawlers are the biggest savior for me. And even though the Mothership Core has the annoying time warp, which slows my slow wings to an even slower pace, I hold this off with relative ease. So, I mean, nothing special here. I have these couple of wings just trying to work down this extra pylons to try and supply block them if I can. Like I said, obviously I'm more concerned about trying to save just to hold this entrance. And having the 2 queens here, I have enough energy for transfuse, I also have energy to kind of take out the mothership core and lay down a creep tumor. At this point, I'm just trying to spam wings, just so his attack. I know it's inefficient here, but like I said, he already lost it, so he's pretty much just gonna give that up. I have more gas on the way. I should have started pneumatized at Carapace a while ago, that way I can scout. I have my evolution chambers. The upgrades are actually a very important thing for me here. And then, yep, getting banelings, that way you can start doing baneling drops. And I have my queen set on the 0 hotkey, that way she can go around and start pooping out creep. Here, checking for third base. Sometimes Protoss players will be crazy greedy, so when they do go try doing that little pressure or timing attack, they'll advance. But because he lost a lot more than what he was hoping to gain from that attack, I think he was just kind of like biding his time, have those sentries ready for force fields, and getting an immortal ready. So with Robotech, 2 forges, and Colossus tech, he's pretty much gonna go for center, kind of like death ball with Robo army with gateway units. But yeah, he's pretty far behind, so he's just trying to expand. Because Protoss on 3 bases is pretty jank bally. I do have overseers because in the past, DT drops, DT just waltzing up into my base have always killed me. That's kind of like another thing that really grinds my gears. Alright, I do have my Nydus network. I was able to see real fast. He did scout it while I was building, however, I don't believe he actually clicked on it. Pretty hard to tell. So, look at my upgrades. I have +1 melee, +1 armor is almost done. The tropical hooks is almost done. I have a couple baneling thing more to get ready for the Nydus network. Overlord here is in position from the very beginning. And then I should have a couple overlords. Yep, a couple overlords here, getting ready to stand by. I should be sending rings out their way. So this is going to be a 3-pronged attack. As soon as I take down these rocks, I'm basically going to send this small group of wings. It's not technically very small, but it's more than enough to catch his attention. It could take out a Nexus in a couple of minutes, or less than a minute, or it could just destroy all the probes. So, and also kind of look at his army. Not a very big supply difference, but yeah, with 4 zealots, they can hold up behind the mineral line and take out all these things. There's a Colossus, and with the sentries and good force fields, so he doesn't stomp on him. Yeah, this attack right here would never work unless you're like really gutsy. However, with the Nydus network, I'll plant it down right here. Pop down the Nydus one right here. Rally towards the mineral line. I have 32 wings on the way. My +2 just started at the same time. So it's pretty much, if you think about it in context, 3-3 Ultralisk Rush, but I am throwing in drop play. Now one of the big things that it succeeds this game is because it's failed 4-gate timing, or 4-gate pressure. So I am really playing towards the strength of Zerg with just the amount of harassment I can do. Alright, so I am taking my 4th base just because, like, oh crap, he has his 3rd. Most Zerg players, they already know the 1 base up rule. And it's situational, but it's usually a good guideline to follow. Income, we're about tied. This main is a little oversaturated, but I mean, give it a couple minutes, and yep, I have all the units here. Got 3 with 12 banelings, and then rest holding up 1 baneling and a couple wings. Nydus Worms getting plopped down. Let's see here. Sitting in those things. Alright, so basically my point of view. Alright, so I popped it, got it started, got it rolling. I'm bringing out my overlords. So he did spot the overlords, so that's where I pulled my banelings here back. I'm having the worms with the wings going up here to see if I can capture some of the units. I do have my injections going, so. And right here, yep, again, just distracting, causing me to build more zealots. Does have High Templar. It hasn't started the upgrades for it yet. I think I destroyed it, but let me check real fast. I do recall him having it. Sorry about this. I know I should plan these things out, but one of the things where I just become impatient and just want to get shit done. Not to mention, this helps me a little bit more than I actually think. Okay, so here's the Templar Archives. I don't destroy it till later, but cleaned out the wings right here. A lot of the probes, they're all being what all workers do, retarded. He has all the workers from up here being moved up here. Just trying to just activate with warp gates because I deactivated one. It's not a big thing, but I mean, when you see so many dark buildings and all the upgrades just stop, it's pretty demoralizing. Right, so I basically halved his income with this a single attack. Lost. I still come out ahead. It's probably when you hit control with probes. So again, just to miss quick, he's moving all his workers to his natural, grossly oversaturated. Yep, and so the Nydus Worm basically did his job. And alright, so I do have still have this overload here full of Bane bombs. We're ready. I do have a couple overlords. I do try doing this attack, this just multi-prong harass over and over again. And another nice thing about what I've discovered, I've watched the manga. Before Heart of the Swarm came out, he was doing Bane drops, ring Bane drops against Protoss players, and it was actually quite successful. Just because when you drop Banelings on top of sentries, your Lings can actually get a better round without the force fields, and without the splash damage being done on the Zealots or Colossus or anything that's around them. It's basically all abilities that Protoss have to control the battlefield, the flow of battle. It's all taken away. Alright, so a couple Baneling, kind of like little bombers ready to go off. My income, it's actually doing really good. I do have another expansion up here. I should saturate that pretty soon. Have a macro hatch again. Because I saw the Colossus, I threw down a Spire amongst all the fighting. And because of how many I don't want to say I saw the Archons, but whenever you have a light unit composition of Zerg, whether it's Zerglings, Banelings, Mutalisk, it's always a good idea to get Archons and Templar, High Templar, because storms can just rape things. So that's the reason I started throwing down the roaches. My crew spread's doing alright. It connects all my bases together, and I'm still kind of pushing up through the left side. And it's pretty much got a good quarter of the map. I'm maxed out, well, pretty much maxed out. He's still kind of cleaning up. His army, comparatively to mine, almost dead even. I do have a couple of infestors coming out that help stall everything. Kind of went overkill on the corruptors, but I had no idea how many Colossus he had. And another nice thing with corruptors, they can take out the War Prism. So I mean, any type with your creep spread, as a mechanic, not only does it grant you vision, it also prevents Protoss from having any forward pylon. If you're actually really good at it, just like downright perfect with your creep spread, any nuke and cranny that Protoss players are so used to shoving pylons in, basically just their attack, their momentum, they have way too much money in the bank at the end of that time. He can't get his warpins all the way off at the same time, even with the Chrono Boost. So, like I said, the momentum is stopped. So, creep spread against Protoss is really good. However, as I said before, certain strategies like this one requires a lot more APM, a lot more focus. And not to mention, because I got the extra queen, it's going to cause my upgrades for drops or the Nydus network. It's going to delay it a little bit longer than I would like. However, comparatively, you know, she's 2-2 for ground army. I have 2-2 for my melee and armor. And I also have +1 Zerg missiles. So, and I also have Burrow, which I should at some points start using it to deny expansions. And because I noticed he was taking out creep channelers with the observer and his units, banning landmines against Protoss don't work out very well, unless you want to sit on pathways. That way, whenever they send counterattacks, which is around towards the late game, and most people don't, they're already like mentally and physically tired of just trying to attack and rebuild and fall back and then defend and then push and lose all your stuff again. So I mean, a lot of people don't really have either the patience or the memory to remember put down like landmines against where zealot counterattacks would be. Alright, so back on track. He has a pretty scary army. I mean, what does he have? A single High Templar, 3 Colossus, an Immortal, 5 Archons, 13 Stalkers, and 24 Zealots. Looks like he does have all the Stalkers with him here. So counterattack, it might do some more damage, but with this type of army, you'd have to engage it just perfectly right. I am doing the Bane Rain against them. That should do wonders against any type of spellcaster, like the sentries, the zealots. And I do have my corruptors, so a lot of people don't think about it, but Colossus count as massive, and corruptors do plus damage against massive. That includes Brood Lords, Colossus, Tempest, carriers, and battle cruisers. So those 5 units, corruptors are the perfect counter for. Alright, so he's falling back. He's probably waiting for no cooldown on the warp gates. That way he can get his army up a little bit more, but supply blocked. I was worried that he was going to come up this way, but since he started pushing this way, I should move my army to like a concave. Protoss players love this fighting choke points like this, and normally I should have attacked him right here when he was right here, but again, my EPM isn't up to par. Alright, here we go. I have my collectors firing. A big bunch of roaches here out firing. Got my bailing landmines about to hit. His unit's position when I attacked was perfect. With the Archons up front, they'll soak up all the damage from the Zerglings, and Zerglings are supposed to be meant as meat shields for the roaches, because roaches do 18 damage. Though their fire rate is pretty slow, it's actually pretty hard hitting. But as soon as I take out the Colossus, and I can start corrupting everything with the corruption ability, I just use my infestors to kind of lock them down with fungal growth, pull back, and wait for more units to come. So yep, here we go. Took out all the sentries here. I have my banelings trying to take out more zealots. I have a lot of roaches on the way. 3 keys for melee is almost done. Doing a little shenanigans with the transfuse. The sprite college here, kind of really a saving grace for me. But spine crawler here, roaches are all firing. Should have moved my infestors back because it's a sad waste of an investment. Here I am corrupting everything. Just take extra damage. And then, yep, it's just pretty good surround, and then just clean sweep, trying to pick everything up. And from here, it's just, again, going back to harassing, because the way that this map's layout in particular is perfect for turtling. Yep, he's falling back. All he has is zealots, a couple, single sentry. comparatively, he lost at this point because the army. Because his army is now down, he still hasn't actually recovered from all the damage he did early game. Yep, there you go. I still have Banelings right here. I should have sent them when he was attacking, but he said it's pretty hard to stay concentrated. Still have this guy right here. Still haven't really figured a way to keep track of all of them, but I don't know, maybe one day I will. Archons, a couple Stalkers, yeah, I have to pull back. But I do have an Ultralist on the way. I do throw out another Nydus Worm, sorry. I think I just have wings in here, yeah. Just trying to spam the deploy button, but he gets away with it. Alright, so I have fully upgraded Ultralist, tons of Banelings on the way. Decently upgraded Roaches. He does have 3 attack, 2 armor, which is still pretty good. Sending in more of the nice network. And hopefully I'll be able to use it again, but not sure if that works out completely. And here, this is what I was talking about. It was Protoss counterattack, the Relic counterattacks. Big pain in the ass. That's the reason why towards the end of this game I do have tons of spines. Yep. 60 butchers killed at this point now. So all I have to deal with, all I knew that I had to deal with in this game was his army now. If I can kill his army and deny any type of counterattacks if I'm doing too much damage, I win the game. So yep. Fine color's still alive, throw out another one. His army's pushing out over here. Might lose my creep thing again. I am replanting all the tumors that was destroyed when this first initial push came out, but I mean, everybody should do that. I think I also rebuild the queen again too as soon as I leave it. Alright. Because Immortal is like the perfect counter to everything I have here, it's kind of the reason why everything started melting. Like, really just melting. So, try saving my roaches and then cause them to get worried. Yep. Dropped again. Destroyed his gas. All Protoss players love gas, so. I do try this again, but he spots it this time. The problem with Nydus Networks, it's really hard to use over and over again. So, yep, I did build these things just to deny the space. I have quite a few roaches now. Let's see, 12 roaches, 3 ultralists, a couple infestors. It looks like I'm getting ready to gear up for an attack. And this is going to be coming close to the end of the game, but I really like this one just because the follow-up. The problem with these type of attacks is it leaves you completely vulnerable, very wide open to any type of counterattack. Like completely vulnerable to a counterattack. If I tried rushing this and then he just went out with the stalker and go attack or just push, everything I would have lost probably my third base and my second base. So it's kind of the reason why I actually decided to try doing this was a reaction to his 4-gate. And then throwing the Nydus network was a little fancy touch, but it snowballed into him losing the game. It's basically that's all I'm trying to get at. Yeah, add insult to injury, and a couple blue lords morphing. So yeah, this was a very fun CVP. Don't know how else to explain it or what the Protoss player could have done to actually come back and win it. Like I said, because I was afraid of DTs, had the Spore and was fine. I don't have it at this base, but I mean, I had Overlord here, so I'm pretty sure I could have reacted eventually. This guy never did anything, which is a pity. So, and because the micro hatch is still nailing injects most of the time. So, yeah. Alright, so basically I'm going to go over the build really fast. Please note that it's not an exact build, just because everybody has to react differently to whatever's coming their way. So basically went for 14 pool and expanded as soon as I can because the pro was being a little douchebag. Joining up, I get my gas around 40 supply. It's usually the best time. Yep, throwing down the spore just because deep Dark Templars, and then try to catch wind. I catch wind of the type of timing. No, no Protoss player can get Dark Templars this early, I believe. Unless it's a one base cheeky little thing, but I digress. So, yep, got my gas, keep mining gas, keep drilling up. After the attack, of course, because if you drone during an attack, you're screwed. Alright. After the attack, I should have a surplus of money, just because the effectiveness of all my units. That way, it starts just droning some more, and then just go straight for the upgrades that you want for this build. Which in this case was the speed, the drop, lightning, Matthias Carapace, and then just getting upgrades and things. And from there, it was all just getting ready to set up to pick the Protoss player apart. Alright, I think that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. I know I like to ramble, and I'm pretty sure probably no one's ever going to understand what I just said, but I mean, it's one of those things. I just had a lot of fun playing. It felt like, you know what, some people, I haven't seen very many people try and doing this, and it was actually a lot of fun in game. Alright, so thanks for watching. If any comments to help, any criticisms to help, anything to help me make this a little bit better, please let me know in the comments below. If you liked it, just give a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye.